The discussion about parking meters downtown originated with Mayor Mark Kruzan when he brought the proposal forward to the Chamber of Commerce. There was a lot of discussion about why we were doing it, and if you take a look at the development that's gone on downtown and the pressures that were being seen on those main corridors, particularly the Courthouse Square and down Kirkwood, the 2-hour policy just wasn't working. And something else needed to be considered, particularly when you started to think about the additional development that was going to be going into place. And how do you alleviate that pressure? And so that's where the origination of the discussion started. Now, one of the concerns that I continued to hear as the parking discussion unfolded was there's just not enough free parking in downtown. In the original proposal, there's about 179 free spaces available. And we said that's just not enough because much of that parking was on the periphery. And so I worked very hard in lobbying Mayor Kruzan and working with some of my colleagues on council to make sure that we had an amendment to bring forward and negotiated a total of 400 free spaces for 3 hours and put them predominantly in the garages in downtown as well as the lot behind the Buskirk-Chumley. And that was designed because there are people who simply need free parking when they come down. They need it for economic reasons. Other people just refuse to use a meter and they were looking for somewhere else to park. And then when you also consider some of the workers who are working downtown, it also provided them, again, a little break in the expenses that they might incur as they went into the workplace. So that amendment was drafted, and 5 of my council member colleagues supported that draft as we move forward and passed the parking meter legislation. Now, it's not over. Those conversations continue today, and I'm planning on bringing forward an amendment in the next couple of weeks that will actually address the hours of operation. We've also been fighting to keep those free 3 hours in the garages. That was something that was being looked at as being rolled back to 1, and that simply can't happen. And also addressing the issue of credit card fees and having those pulled from your charge card whenever you would charge for parking downtown. So those are some of the considerations. And I'd just like to note one final thing. This policy makes sense. It's been driving people into the garages. We're seeing increased turnover downtown. And it's a policy that, as you take into consideration, again, some of the other development that's going to take place, also the possibility and uncertainty of what Indiana University might have as its parking policy that people use in the overflow lots. Those pressures are just going to continue to build downtown, and so the policy makes sense. But I look forward to having that continued conversation about what we can do to make it even better.